Alexander Arrington here, talking to you a little bit about being assertive, putting your needs first. A lot of people say, well, they're really wanting to move out of state because they've got so much stress with their friend so and so, their family's causing trouble for them. It's just really annoying to them. But really, one of the main problems when people feel that way is they're not being assertive in what they're saying that they want. They're really being pushed around by other people, and their thought is that, well, if I could just get away from this person, if I could just move out of state, if I could just just change my phone number where nobody knows me, I'll get off Facebook, I'll get off all these things, and then nobody will know me, and I'll be protected from all these things. One of the main things in pushing your goals in life and pushing what you want to do is you really just have to know your rights as an individual and not let people trample on those rights. Now, one of the things of living in the United States, our whole basis is the importance of, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of all this. But really, in your own life, you may not be doing that. We talk about freedom of religion. If your spouse doesn't want you to go to this particular church, or your mom doesn't want you to go to this particular church, you think, well, maybe I just won't go, or maybe I won't do this, or your family has a certain religion and you don't really want to go against their religion, so you really don't tell them what you're doing as far as religious or what your beliefs are if they're not in line with what they believe, because you don't want to hurt their feelings, you don't want to stress them out. But really, it's really important as an individual to express your beliefs as a person, to feel completely comfortable saying, okay, well, I believe this, or I don't believe the Trinity, or I don't believe in this, and that's okay, because you have a right to your beliefs, and you have a right to do things that you want to do, that as long as they don't infringe upon the rights of others. And a few of those rights are, you have the right to put yourself first sometimes. So a lot of people are saying, well, you're so selfish, you're doing this, or someone gets upset, your spouse or your wife or husband gets mad at you because, well, you bought a new pair of shoes that were $80, or it's something that you wanted. And you have a right to put yourself first sometimes. One of the other things is you have the right to make mistakes. So a lot of times people say, well, you did this 2 years ago, or you did this 4 years ago. You have a right to make mistakes. It's part of living, it's part of learning. You also have, as I mentioned, you have a right to your own feelings, your own beliefs, and your own opinions. So you don't have to agree with other people, but a lot of times people in your family, particularly mine, if you don't agree with them, they take it personally as an affront. So they think, oh, well, you don't believe what, if you don't believe what I believe, then you're just a jerk and I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And that's a lot of times why we're not saying what we believe, because we're afraid if we say what we believe or what we think or what we really think, well, that person's just gonna not gonna be in my life anymore. And that's something that kind of abusers use as a threat. It's like, well, if you don't do this, I'm not going to be in your life, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And that's just something that we have to deal with. But something we have to really express is our beliefs. Use that as, that's our right, our feelings, our beliefs. And whenever we suppress that, it's going to hurt you as an individual. You also have the right to change your mind or decide a different course of action. And people get on to you about this. It's like, well, you're such a flip-flop, or you think you said you're going to do this, you failed at this. You said you're going to do that, and then you failed at that. But hey, as an individual, you have a right to change your mind. And if you're a woman, you have a prerogative to change your mind as much as you want. So that's just a right that we have. We also have the right to speak up if we feel that we're being treated unfairly. You have a right to express your opinion. You can't, it's not right to be rude or hateful, but as an individual, you have a right to say, hey, oh, I didn't like the way you did that. That was, disrespectful. You're giving them this, and I'm on the same, level as them, and you're treating me like this, but you're, doing this. So you have a right as an individual to say, hey, well, this isn't the way you're treating me. And that might hurt people's feelings, but hey, that's absolutely okay. If it does, but you have a right to speak up when you feel that you've been treated, you've been mistreated. You also have the right to ask for help or emotional support if you're having a problem. Absolutely okay to ask for support and tell people what you need. What do you need from them? You have the right to feel pain and express pain. People suppress Crying, one of the smallest scriptures in the Bible is Jesus wept. You know, so I mean, you have you're absolutely entitled to how you feel. If you feel angry, you know, feel angry, feel that way, and express that. And that's just normal. If the bad thing about not doing that is when you suppress all that anger, it can hurt you as an individual. So that's another one of your rights. You also have the right to ignore the advice of others. Sometimes people give you advice and they say, well, you know, and you didn't even ask for their advice, but they're giving you advice and they're telling you, no, you really need to do this. You really need to do this. As an individual, you have a right to pursue whatever you want. You have a right to pursue a career. You know, maybe people don't agree with you. Maybe they don't like your career. Maybe they don't like your ideas about religion. Maybe they don't like this. But hey, you don't have to follow their advice. They are not your God. They are not your boss. They're not paying your bills. So their opinion means zero, really. It's mainly what you need in your life and what you need to do. You also have the right to say no. And this is one of the biggest ones. You know, a lot of people have a hard time saying no because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. You know, if someone asks you for money, well, I don't want to say no because they're going to feel like I don't care about them. You have a right. You know, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. You just say no. If you don't want to go somewhere and they're like, oh, we really want you to go, and I've already told everybody you're going, and, you know, they start being like that, you have a right to say no as an individual, or say, you know, something you don't want to do is absolutely okay. Another thing, you have the right to be left alone whenever you want to. If you need some time alone, need some solitude. Some people say, well, oh, I guess you're just abandoning me. You don't care about me. You know, this is just an abuse tactic. You know, the main thing is, if you want to be alone, you're absolutely entitled as an individual to have some solitude. Spend some time with yourself. You know, you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply spending some time with yourself. You also have the right not to anticipate others' needs. You know, people say, well, you should have done this, or you should have brought me to the airport. You knew I needed this. You know, it's not your job to solve everyone else's problems. So these are just some rights that I wanted to bring out. If you have some ideas of what people try and push on you, or different rights that you have that you feel as an individual that's very important, you know, put it in the comments below. Some different things that you've learned, anything that you can add to this video, please just put it in the comments below. Thanks for watching.